Ready for the ultimate party experience? Wiz Pub presents the All Black Party. For just 50 Ghana cedis, join us on 30th November at 5 p.m. We're turning up the heat at Ablekuma Odoman, Emmanuel Junction inside Smooth. Come early to hit the red carpet from 4 p.m. and get ready to groove with DJ Motion on the decks, plus hype from K Brown and Pablo. Sponsors include Sammy Flex TV and Niisrael Print. This is a night packed with dancing, rap, acrobatics, and way more surprises. Grab your tickets now. Call 050-511-8842, 054-808-3069, or 055-027-6907. Don't miss out on the All Black Party. Be there and make it a night to remember.
All right, so this conversation is going to be one that I know many ladies will be paying attention to. And they'll be paying attention for so many reasons. One, to also take a cue or two from the conversation. And again, to see if around them there is a similar story happening. And again, just so you know, this is a real life story. But as to why it is in a book, that is why we are going to talk right here on Sammy Flex TV. I call this conversation The Real Talk. The Real Talk is always live on Sammy Flex. Now, take your time. And something written at the back of the book alone tells you what is about to happen. It says, a blood-freezing real story. A blood-freezing real story. Lived and written by Constant Y. Gakpo. Now freeze, breathe in, and let's start talking. My name is Sammy Flex. You are welcome. This is going to be something that you love. Constant, welcome.
Thank you.
This is our studio. Our studio is a very comfortable place.
Yes.
When we sit with people like this, we want them to freely open their heart and talk. Feel free and talk. You can even ask me questions and I'll be willing to answer as well.
Sure.
The good thing is that we are also about selling a product.
Yes.
And the product is this beautifully written, designed book for everybody, both men and women. This is for you. We are about to talk about something that will surely inspire you to get a copy of this book for your own good. Maybe I'm rhyming, eh? A copy of this book for your own good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm rhyming. But first, let us know you because this is not a usual face on this channel. Let us know you. Who is Constant Y. Gakpo?
Yeah, so the full name is Constant Yawavi Gakpo, as written at the back of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a Thursday born. I am 100% a Togolese. I was born and raised in Togo. I completed my secondary school education there, and then I moved to Ghana at the age of 19, where I did my first and second degree. So after my studies, then I've become a professional translator and conference interpreter. So I'm freelancing. I work for different types of private clients and international organizations, and I am based in Togo. Yeah, so that's me. Yeah.
Okay, so your attachment to Ghana was when you came for your
school.
degrees.
Yes.
Oh, okay. How long did it take you to finish that?
I stayed in Ghana for close to 7 years. So 4 years for my first degree and then 2 years for the master's.
Okay, so it means you have no family attachment here in Ghana. It is only for education.
I have some distant relatives, but we are not that close. So when I came, I was not living with any family. I was by myself. Yeah.
Why did you choose Ghana though? Because I know there were other African countries around.
When I was looking for schools to study translation and interpreting, the School of Translators of the Ghana Institute of Languages came up. That's what it was called back then. I heard they've changed the name now to Unilag or something like that. Yeah, so I decided, well, it's just next door. And before then, I had visited Ghana before. Where I took part in this church program for the youth. So I was like, why not? Let me just go back since I've been there before, and I could also speak a bit of English, even though not as fluently as I do now.
What are some of the beautiful things about the work you do as a translator? Sometimes you'll be watching some of these international conferences. Someone be speaking levu, another person, another person will be giving us the English version of it. What are some of the beautiful things in your work, your line of work?
Yeah, the beautiful thing about being a conference interpreter and a translator is that if you are freelancing, you get to learn a lot of things. It's a perpetual learning journey. You never stop learning because you get to work with different clients on different topics. You can be talking about nuclear energy today. Tomorrow you are interpreting about someone who invented the fufu machine. And I've done that before. So you are always learning something new. You are earning and learning at the same time.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I think we know her background. We know who she is. So it is just right for us to move into the business of the day. And as you guys can see, I have a book with me. The book is titled Waltzing with the Devil. Did I pronounce it well? Waltzing.
Yeah, waltzing.
Waltzing with the Devil. And again, it says that when the empath falls in love with the narcissist, you guys should take your time. We are about to do more revelations. When the empath falls in love with the narcissist. Now, first question about this book is, are you a known author, or this is your first attempt in putting together a piece like this?
I am not a known author. This is my first book. However, I have always been a writer. For all those who know me, I have been writing for the past 6 or 7 years. I used to actually have a blog, which I have now turned into my official writer page on Facebook.
Okay.
So yes, I've written pieces here and there, but this is my first officially published book.
Okay, so I'm sure you guys would very soon understand why, despite her knowledge about writing and all that, she decided to only do this one as her first book and not under any topic, but this particular one, that is Waltzing with the Devil. Let me just walk you into it. When you open this book, the book tells you about triggering a warning, aka trigger warning. And this I would want to read in full before we continue. It says that this story is based on real life events. Now, the trigger warning, even before you read the book, there is a caution here. And it says that this book treats the topic of intimate partner abuse. Intimate partner abuse. It contains vivid descriptions of financial, emotional, and mental abuse. Into brackets, gaslighting, manipulation, emotional, retaliation, etc. Scenes that might be distressing to some readers. Reader discretion is advised. When I was about reading the book and I read this, I was asking myself, hey, why this strong trigger warning? Like, why this strong caution to me as a reader? Then something came to mind that, okay, because it is a real life story, the person did not mince with words. She actually said it the way it was. Definitely. Some names you mentioned that maybe they will feel like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here and all that. So it is part of it. And again, it is to tell you that whatever you're about to read is not a fiction. It happened. But let me ask her, while she's here, why this trigger warning, like boldly written, to start the book?
I added the trigger warning because even for me, as the one who wrote the book, going through the journey of putting it on paper, it was not easy.
Okay.
Yes, several times I had to stop writing for months because the pain, the emotional torture of having, it's as if I was reliving everything all over again. So I know that other people reading this, and my style of writing is such that as you are reading, you can picture everything. You see yourself there as if you are watching a story. So and yes, and I started sharing excerpts on Facebook here and there. And everybody that read it, from their reaction, I just knew that no, I have to put a trigger warning there so that people know what they are about to read. Yes.
So far, has there been any remarks, comments, reactions, especially about the story in this book, even despite the trigger warning?
Yes, there has been a lot of comments and reactions, mostly positive, but also negative, of course, because even if you are Jollof, not everybody will love you. That's life. Yeah. So there are those who think that it's a fabricated story, that I made it all up. And I ask myself, like, I must be a really mentally disturbed person to fabricate such a story. I mean, because when you read the story, you see that this is not something somebody can just sit there and make up. Otherwise, there's something wrong with them, because there's family, my family is involved, the guy's family was involved, my friends, a lot of people, the police, lawyers. I mean, I can't make something like that up, you see? And then there are those who were very supportive. Most people were commiserating with me. They were like, so sorry for what you went through. It's good that you shared your story to give a warning to others, to encourage other people. And then I started receiving a lot of messages from other victims who have been through similar ordeals. A lot of people are going through this, but they don't talk about it because of the fear of shame and social stigma, people's judgment. Like a lot of people have been saying, it's because you are stupid that this happened to you. How could you be that foolish? How could you not see that this guy was taking advantage of you? You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I did not expect the thing to blow up so much when the story came out, especially when I shared the first video snippet. My God, it was crazy. Yeah. Up to now, I'm still getting, my inbox is still so full on TikTok, everywhere, Facebook, Instagram. Oh my God, it's serious. Yes.
I'm going to do something. I would want to at least go through many of the chapters or the parts.
Okay.
But we'll be summarizing it.
Sure.
Because, like I'm saying, I want someone who is watching us at the end of this conversation, get yourself this book, find some chilled bottle of anything that you are comfortable drinking.
Very important.
Cross your leg and give yourself some 2 weekends or 3 weekends. Finish this book. Trust me, it will help you. Even as a guy, reading this, at a point, I felt guilty. Yes, at the point I felt like, okay, maybe I have committed some of the sins in this book. Maybe I have seen a friend of mine committing a sin like that. Did I stop him? No. Maybe someone close to me is going through the same thing. Have I been able to help him or her? Maybe no. That was how I was feeling reading it. Reason you would have to read it yourself to get to understand it. Those who are watching us far, and I mean those abroad and all, I'm sure there are online platforms that you can get yours. And these are details we will get later. But in summary, there is a synopsis to this. After the trigger warning, we summarize the whole thing for you this way. And it says, yes, you read that right. Of course, I do not mean that I shared a dance with the actual devil. But the one this book is about might as well be, and I wouldn't be surprised. Let's say I dated the Tinder swindler. I don't mean Simon Levy, the original Tinder swindler either, but rather a low-budget Ghanaian version of him. Well, this one is more like the Facebook, Instagram, and Bumble swindler, all combined into one. Brace yourself, and let me take you through this tumultuous journey, because it is going to be quite a long and strenuous one. And indeed, it was a long and strenuous one indeed. If you go through the story chapter by chapter, it was. Now, after the synopsis, I believe you guys know what is about to happen. But another question.
Yes.
What percentage of information, put everything together, did you not put here? Because even in reading, I still believe that there were some information you did not bring here.
Yes. Let's say I tried to put about 90% of everything that I could remember at the time in there. The way my writing process went was that the minute I started writing, I started to remember more things. So I can be going somewhere, I will be outside in town, then I remember that, oh, this thing also happened. Then quickly I have to take my phone out and drop it down, jot it down so I don't forget. So then I started putting more and more and more stories together, and then I had to later rearrange everything to be coherent. So I tried to put as much as I could remember at the time in there. But even after writing, there were more memories that came back to me. So I would say, 90% of everything that I could remember, I put in there.
Okay, so about 10% of the information here is missing. Was it intentional not to add them?
No, it was not intentional. It's because I did not remember them at the time when I was writing. And some of the revelations also came out after the book was published. Yes.
I've not finished reading the entire book. At least I think I've done to part 3, Father of All Lies, The Endless Sub-Stories. I am yet to get to part 4, which is the spiritual manipulation. I've not gotten there. From part 1 to part 3, getting to 4, though the book was talking about a certain gentleman, the name of that gentleman was spared. And I want to ask why.
His name was not actually spared, but I made it in such a way that you have to read to the end to get the full name.
Okay.
Yes. So it's like, how do I put it? Like a game. So as you are reading, if you're an attentive reader, you will see that at a point you get the first name. Then when it gets to a certain part, you get the middle name. Then later on, you will see the surname. And then some hints about social media and all of that. So if you are paying attention, it's very easy to get the full picture.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So the name is in there.
It's in there.
Okay.
For those who pay attention, it's in there.
Okay, so I'll continue. I'll continue. I'm traveling to Kumasi by this weekend. I'm sure whilst there wouldn't be so much pressure of coming to studio driving. So I'm sure by the time I'll come back, I'll do the part 2 of this particular conversation, maybe with me alone. And it will be my advice to whoever would also be reading this. Now, so how many chapters in all? 14 chapters in all.
Yes.
Let's see, at least they were broken down into parts in a way. The Genesis, the tip of the iceberg, the mental, emotional abuse and manipulation, the father of all lies, the endless sub-stories. Let's do that before we come to the spiritual manipulation, his family and all. What is this story about? What is this story about?
This story is about the hell I went through for 8 long months because I decided, 8 very long months. According to some people, it was not enough, but it's not about the duration. It's about what happened during those 8 months.
And what went into the 8 months.
Yes. So as I keep saying, somebody can show you the compressed hell of years within a period of 3 or 6 months. So to those who kept saying you dated someone for just 8 months and you wrote an entire book about it, what if it was 1 year? I'm like, so I should have stayed in there and kept suffering until 2 or 3 years. Then that will give me the permission to share my story. No, it doesn't make sense. So this story is about the hell I went through. And it was too much for me to keep in. So I decided, no, I have to talk about this because I realized that it is because the victims don't speak up that such people have the energy to continue what they are doing, because our silence is what covers them to keep operating in the shadows. So if you put their name out there and let everybody know, then you are saving other victims. Yes, evil thrives in the dark, and I swore that I would not be silent anymore because this was not my first rodeo, unfortunately. I've been through it. I've kept quiet over and over again. This time around, it was just too much. I decided, no, I have to talk about this. I tried holding it in. It was not doing me any good. Mentally, emotionally, no. I'm still suffering from the aftermath up to now. So yes, that's what the book is about.
So when you say father of all lies, obviously it was because of the inaccuracies of information.
Yes.
How should we refer to him in this conversation?
You can call him Kweku. That's his name.
Okay.
Yes.
He, Kweku, told you the incoherent information and all those ones. Now, the question is that, at what point did you realize that all these things were lies?
When I got tired of giving him the benefit of the doubt, as he always kept telling me, because that was one of his favorite lines. Every time you try to question him about anything, he will make you feel stupid for even questioning him in the first place.
Okay.
You say, oh, babe, why are you doing this? At least give me the benefit of doubt before you accuse me of this or that. And what you think is not always right. Your perspective is not the only one. Maybe what you are thinking is not what it is, you know. So it got to a point I was like, no. How much benefit of the doubt can I give? It's becoming obvious that this guy is just taking advantage of me. Yeah, it became too obvious for me to ignore it anymore.
Then you talked about spiritual manipulation. How did spirituality come into relationship of romance and affair? How did spirituality come in here?
So I am a Christian, and I would dare say a serious one.
Okay.
So for me, before I would consider dating any man, we must share the same spiritual beliefs. And so that is how come Kweku portrayed himself to be a serious Christian as well.
So he also portrayed himself to be
a serious Christian. So when we started dating, because that is a major thing for me. So everything that has to do with how to portray yourself as a pious Christian, he was doing all of it. Used to pray together, have morning devotion together, read the Bible. And this is somebody that when he's with you and he wakes up in the morning, the first thing he does is to go to YouTube and start playing gospel worship songs and start worshiping. You know, I remember one time when he came to spend the end of year with me, the 31st December night. In Togo. Yes. He refused to pray with me during the crossover service. I don't know why. I was watching my church service online. And then I stayed in the room to pray. And then when it was done, I went out because I wanted, in my area, usually they have fireworks. I wanted to go outside and watch the fireworks. So as I came from the bedroom, walked through the hall to go out, I saw him and he was shirtless, and that image just stuck in my head. He was walking up and down the hall, seriously moving like someone who is in intense prayer, you know, pretending to be speaking in tongues. So that should tell you how much of a pretender this man is. This is somebody that used to follow me to church. He met my pastor, met my closest friend, knew everybody around me. He went to meet my pastor, sat down there, said, yes, I love your daughter. I have serious intentions for her, just that I'm struggling right now, and she's been helping me. I mean, he acted so well that even my pastor could not see through his act. I'm telling you. Yes. He had every base covered. He spared nothing.
Oh, I see. So that was the spiritual manipulation. That
was part of it. Because when I met him, one of the things he told me was that, he has a lot of pastor friends. He's close to a lot of pastors, that even though people think he's not a spiritual person, he's actually somebody who prays a lot. He even has a day that he dedicates per week to fast and all of that on the day he is born. That is a Wednesday, right? And that there's this pastor friend of his, and he mentioned the name of Prophet Gideon Danso, who is a popular man of God, right? He said that man is a close, pastor friend of his, and the man gave him a prophecy some years ago about how he was going to meet this Francophone lady, and that when he meets her, that's his wife, he should not let her go. Meaning he's talking about me. He's referring to me. So that was one lie. So every time we are there, he will come back and say, oh, babe, I had this dream that things were going to change very soon. I got a promotion, this job. I traveled abroad. I could see us living beautifully in this. He made sure that he always painted this picture of a beautiful future together, always giving me bits and pieces of hope.
They lived happily ever after.
Yes. Yeah.
I see. So that is about part of the spiritual manipulation. Now, you talked about his family and friends in more details, a secret affair.
Yes.
In fact, let me put out this information. Everything I am trying to do with the chapters, they are just the surfaces. So things are in there. Even the first one where I've read the Genesis, the tip of the iceberg, the mental and emotional abuse, the father for what I've read. Some of the details at the point I was even chill, like, that also happened. But because we cannot do everything, I'm just trying to get the basics for you. So that when you comfortably get a hold of this book, you would understand what Constant has gone through for that age. But I have some offline questions which were not here. I'll be asking though. Yeah, so his family and friends and a secret hate affair. What do you mean by secret hate affair?
Okay, so one thing that Kweku always did was to paint everyone in his life black to me. No one was spared. His mom, his dad,
I read this line.
Sisters, his friends, like in every story, he was the victim and everybody was against him.
Yeah.
So he would say stuff like, my family, my mom only cares about money. Whenever she comes around, she will be saying stuff to me like, what are you doing with your life? A man like you keep saying you don't have money. Look at your friends. They're making progress in life and all of that. So every time it was as if nobody is there for him and he is all alone in the world and I'm his only hope. And he used to say that, oh, I'm so happy that your family has been so accepting of me because I've always wanted that love of family. So it means that when we get married, your family becomes mine and I'm so happy about that, you know.
Wow.
So after I got to know that everything was fabricated, I realized that no, this guy is actually envious of his friends because there's this particular friend of his.
I read this one too.
He claimed was his best friend. And he said he did some jobs for the guy for years now. The guy has refused to pay him. When I met this guy, the guy told me that, oh, he even wanted to settle Kweku because the guy is into the business of sneakers and all that. He wanted to help the guy settle him and he said he's not interested. And the things he told me about this guy, said the guy, oh, he's not a serious guy. He married his wife because of money. He's been taking advantage of her, spending her money. Meanwhile, that is what he is doing. Painting everybody black, you know, so many derogatory stories about everyone, such that even if you wanted to contact anybody from his side and ask questions, you can't.
Yeah.
So he made sure he created that barrier. So every time I would think, let me talk to this person, then I'll be like, oh, nah. But the way they're even treating him, they will not have anything good to say about him. You see, I thought they were rather being the enemies of our relationship. Meanwhile, that was not the truth. Because every time you help him with something, he will say, oh, my mom is giving me pressure. Every day she will bring bills out of nowhere. Babe, I need money. Support me with this and that. Then you give them tomorrow, oh, my mom said we should do this. Hey, Debia, my mom this, my mom that. So it became as if I started hating the woman, even though I had not met her. Because I thought she was being a thorn in my flesh. So I kept asking him, Kweku, why don't you tell your mother the truth that all the monies you are getting is not from you? Because me too, I'm getting tired of the constant request. Tell your mother the truth, because the way you are behaving, the woman might think you have some money somewhere. Meanwhile, you don't.
Nothing,
and he'll be like, babe, you know how men are seen in the African society. You have to provide. Once you are a man, everybody expects you to step up. And I will tell her, with time, you just take it easy. And then I have to take care of my grandmother. They are counting on me. This grandmother was always sick. Today she's in the hospital. Tomorrow she has done this. Then the grandfather has fainted. They have carried.
But how come indirectly you were taking care of people you didn't request to meet?
I thought I was taking care of them, but no, it was all a lie. Those people were
that's
not.
I'm asking that. The people you were supporting for him to also go help, did you ever request to meet them?
I met some of them. When I went, to his house. I went to his house in Koforidua. That's where he was based. I don't know if he's still there. So I met
so he was
his
not
house.
even based in Accra?
No, I met his house people. That's the grandmother he has always been talking about. I met one of his aunties. I met his cousins and niece and nephew. So I met part of his family. But when it came to the mother, because of the way he always portrayed her, whenever I would ask to meet her, he would say, oh, it's not time yet. You know how difficult my mother is. Let's take time. When it's time, you know, and the relationship was not that old. So I didn't also want to start giving him pressure for it to look as if I'm desperate. But then I'm like, if I'm doing all these things for you, then I should get to meet your parents.
Exactly.
You see?
But now you are almost alive.
Yes. You see, the whole thing was not making sense. It was not making sense. It was after he was arrested that I now met the mom and dad and stepdad.
He was arrested?
Oh, yes.
For what?
He was arrested because I was not the only one. I was not his only victim.
Okay.
He was doing the same thing
reading that too.
to multiple women. And then same stories, collecting money from everybody, and reported him. One of the girls actually managed to find me online on Instagram, and she got in touch with me. It was about a month after I had ended things with him. But even though I broke up with him, somewhere within me, I always knew that there are still a lot of things that I don't know about this guy. I always had the feeling that the Kweku I knew, it was not the real Kweku, because there's a lot more that this guy is hiding from me. So I always used to pray that God, give me the answers to these questions that this guy does not want to answer. So one day I was there, and this lady texted me on Instagram. She said, oh, hi, we have a friend in common. She mentioned the name. I said, yes. As soon as I saw the name, I started laughing because I knew that, yes, it's about to go down. This is what I've been praying for.
Another victim.
Yes. So, and then I said, yes, what about him? She said, oh, my best friend has been dating him for the past 5 months, and he has collected money from her using all kinds of stories, and the whole thing is not making sense. And she managed to find your contact, so we are getting in touch with you. That can we talk? I said, no problem. I'm not one of those women who will fight over a man, you know, never. So I said, no problem. So I got the lady's contact. We started talking on WhatsApp. That is how come she told me about the 2 other girls she also found. So we were now 4 women. And apart from us 4, there were 4 more. So 8 in total. That's just the people we knew about. I'm sure there were more. 8. And these are aside the woman he was married to, and the other one that he was about to get married to.
So in all of these, he was even legally married?
Legally married with kids. Legally married with kids. Can you imagine? So that was how come the lady said she is going to report the matter to the police. So if I want to join them, I said, no problem. So we planned how to get him, you know, arrested, because we know that this guy, he's someone who loves soft life. You just have to invite him that, oh. So we asked the latest girlfriend back then, just invite him. Since he's not in Accra, whenever you tell him you want to see him, he will start saying, oh, I don't have money for fuel, my car broke down, I need money to fix it, just so that, you know. So when he started the story, he said, no, wahala, we'll sacrifice some small money. You tell him to come. Invited him on a spa date. And he's coming to get massage. So he came, sent him small money. He came. He told him that when he comes, he will get the rest in cash. So he came, and the police was waiting for him.
I see.
Yeah.
What charge was placed on him? What charge did you?
Unfortunately, they didn't charge him for anything. Even though what he did was clearly fraud and what do you call it? It's called romance scam.
Okay, romance scam.
Scamming someone under false pretense is a romance scam. But there are no laws that protect victims of romance scam, unfortunately. And that is a very painful...
And this is a key thing we need to really hammer on.
Very painful reality. So if you allow someone...
in Ghana That
not even just in Ghana, even the whole world. You can Google it.
Oh, the whole world, at least the Hajia for real story. She has been jailed because of romance scam.
Her own is a bigger something, I think.
But it's still a romance scam.
There are laws over there that they can use in certain way to catch you if you do that over there. But in our side of the world, I mean, who has time for you? You can take it to court, and first of all, going to court, it costs money. It's very emotionally and financially draining. And so I was already dealing with so much. I did not have the strength to take on that battle. So when the police also, who were not helpful at all, by the way, just added on to my trauma, you know, and they started their own thing, I was like, it's okay. At least he slept there for the weekend. Before
it was a Friday you picked him.
We made sure it was a Friday so that he can comfortably sleep with the mosquitoes and everything.
Which police station did you take him?
I will not mention the police station.
Not mention the police station.
It's better.
Oh,
it's better.
I understand why you not mention. But this is off the book. I'll come back to the book. You talked about him being married and with children.
Yes.
And were you people not having constant communication? Because evening, definitely he'll be home. Children will be there. Something might happen for you to know where this guy is living. He's not alone. How come 8 months you never had any hints like that?
Kweku is the type of person that even his friends, when we go to the police station, even his friends said it, that he's the type of person that if all of you go out like this and you're sitting down and chatting, he will never pick calls in your presence. Never. So you can never know what is going on in the guy's life. You can have a facade, but to know him truly know what is, you will never know. He's that secretive. So even his people that he was calling buddy guys, they knew nothing about his life apart from, oh, this is a guy. They knew maybe about the baby mama, and that was it. All they knew is a baby mama. We later now found out that she's not just a baby mama. It was the legally married wife of 6 years. Yes.
See.
So
it means there were times when you call him, he will never pick up.
He will pick up, but even if he picks up, he can tell you that, oh, babe, let me call you back. And he does that a lot. Let me call you back. And then you wait and wait and wait. Maybe by the time he calls you back, he will give you some excuses to cool you down. And that's it. And he's very quick at picking fights. When you try to insist, for example, I like doing video calls a lot. That's one thing that we were always fighting about. You want to video call, he will give you some excuse that will even make you feel bad. For example, there was one time when he told me he had to travel to Takwa for this Ashanti Anglo-Gold job. When you read Father of All Lies part, that story is there. And whilst he was there, he said they had some orientation or something. So I was like, oh, babe, let me call you. I want to see you in your office, whatever. Hey, he said, I'm in an office space. Why do you want to video call now? This is not permitted here. No. He picked the fight with me so much so that I was just like, I'm sorry. And that was it. That was it. The whole time whilst he claims to be there, I got him on video call once. And that was even after insisting so many times. And that was not while he was at work, because it was past 6 p.m. You can't expect him to be in an office now. So you see a house somewhere, you don't know where he is because he told you he's in Takwa. You see?
Things are getting shakier.
Yes.
You were stuck, and again, you uncovered the rest of the iceberg. A summary of that too.
Okay, so that things are getting shakier part is one of the parts that made me cry the most when I was writing the book. And up to date, when I read, there's a particular story in there about the last time I visited him in Ghana. That story, whenever I read it, tears will always fall. So I came to Accra as usual. Whenever I come
You always drive like you did?
No, I don't drive. This is my first time driving.
Oh, this is your first time driving, okay.
So I came, back then I did not even have a car because having a boyfriend like Kweku, where would you even save money to buy a car?
Sucking you every minute.
No. And every time I would talk to him about buying a car, he would discourage me. When I say, oh, look at this car, babe, I want to buy this. Oh, this car will give you problems. Don't buy that. No. Later on, I understood that it was all because he wanted me to keep concentrating all my money on him. Yeah. So back then, I didn't have a car, even though I had a good job that could afford me to buy a car. So I'll take the commercial cars and come.
Buses and all that.
So as usual, when I come, I already have my own Airbnb that is booked. I pay for everything.
You were paying for all that?
Everything. So he will come and stay with me whilst I'm in Accra. And
you come from Koforidua?
Yes. Sometimes we visited Koforidua only once. Yeah. So
with
when
him?
I'm in, yes, that was when we went to the family house.
You stayed overnight or
no? He said his grandmother is a very religious woman and she doesn't like to see unmarried couples spend the night together. So we cannot stay in their house. So you have to go and get a hotel. Yes.
So you spent the night in Koforidua in a hotel?
Yeah, 2 days. We spent 2 days there.
Oh, you spent 2 days in a hotel?
Yes.
During the 2 days, did you guys go about town?
Yes, he took me around the bit. I saw a few places and then we came to Accra. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So when we came, that visit, when I came, the Airbnb was, back then it was at Ridge.
Okay.
Very beautiful area. I got the place. He came to join me. And when he came, that day, his demeanor and everything, you could just see that the guy just did not want to be there. You know, I came for a friend's wedding. And I told him about it. He was supposed to accompany me. But when the time got close, when he came, he said, babe, because one thing he always does is he will always be pretending to be depressed because of his financial struggles. Now he's depressed and he's suicidal and all of that. So, babe, I don't feel like being in the midst of people right now. The way I'm feeling, no, I can't go for this wedding with you. You go and come. I was like, but we already talked about this and we agreed on it. I don't even know anybody there. Why do you want me to follow you? I don't know your friends and I'm not going. Meanwhile, he knew my best friend and the family. They were going to be there. Okay. So I said, no, Allah. He wanted to drive me. I said no, because that was another opportunity for me to buy for him. I said no. So I ordered for a boat. The boat came and I left. So he was angry that I did not let him drive me. I said, if you don't want to come, why should you bother yourself? Just stay here. Let me go and come. So I went. I came back home. When I came back, the atmosphere in the room was so heavy. I was so uncomfortable. So I quickly changed and took my bag because I wanted to go for a stroll. I like strolling a lot, especially in a beautiful neighborhood like that. So as I took my bag and I was going, I said, I'll be back soon. He was like, where are you going? I said, I'm going for a stroll nearby. I'll be back soon. Okay, let me even take my bag and go. Then he got up. He started packing his things. I sat back down. At that point, I was so overwhelmed. When I tried to open my mouth and talk, I just bursted out crying. Then the next thing is for you to start crying because I'm always the bad person in this relationship. I don't know what I even do to you and now you are crying. It's like, hey, then it's like you don't want me around. You want your space, so let me go and blah, blah, blah. Started shouting, screaming. And that's one thing he does. He yells a lot. He will start yelling right now and I hate yelling. When I'm talking to you, as soon as you start yelling, it just does something to me. I just shut down. So I was there, he kept talking. I was sobbing, I could barely talk. Yeah, you have to read. The way I'm telling it sounds very simple, but when you read, you see how bad it was.
I know.
Yeah, so then after he finished yelling, then he put his bag back down and I couldn't stay there. So I left. When I went out, I was sobbing too much and I didn't want anybody to see me, so I had to sit. It was upstairs, 2 stories, so I sat in the stairs first of all to try and calm myself down. But the tears would not stop coming. I wiped my face. After about 20 minutes, when I thought I was calm, then I went downstairs. I just started walking. I didn't even know where I was going. I was just walking. I was walking around, Rumi. Then I saw this big rock somewhere where there was construction work going on. So I sat on it. I sat down, I started thinking about my life. I said, God, why is this happening to me? What did I do? I'm not a bad person. I've been an amazing partner to this man. Why is he treating me like this? You know? So as I sat down there, after a while, the tears were coming again. I didn't want people to see me, so I quickly wiped my face. So I got up. It started getting dark. So I got up. I said, let me go back before I lose my way, because I didn't even know which way I came from. And I don't know the area very well. So I started walking back. And as I was walking, there was this army green pickup that slowed down next to me, a 4x4. So the man rolled down his glass, his window, and he said, hello, dear. I said, hi. I saw you earlier on when I was driving by. You were sitting over there by yourself. What is going on? What is the problem? Talk to me. I said, sir, nothing. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. He said, I know you don't know me, but you can trust me. I'm not a bad person. Just come and sit down. Let's go somewhere and sit down and talk. I said, how sure am I that I'm safe with you? What if I enter your car now and something happens to me? He said, oh, no, nothing will happen to you. I promise you. I didn't want to enter the car, but he kept, as I'm walking, he was also following me. And people started looking at us, so I didn't want their attention. So after a while, I said, okay. I was like, what's the worst that can happen anyway? So I sat inside the car and started driving. Wow, this feels like a movie. Yes, I wasn't talking. He said, my name is Mr. Roland. I wasn't talking. So he said he needed to get things from a supermarket nearby. So he parked there and he went in. I sat in the car waiting for him. So when he came back, he brought this very big bar of chocolates out of his shopping bag, and he said, this is for you. Beautiful girls like you should not be crying. Stop crying. I said, hey, God, it looks like today, dear, you have seen my crying. So then he drove to one restaurant nearby, next to some filling station. I don't even remember the name of the restaurant because my mind was all over the place. So we went and sat there and we talked for a while, and he ordered some food for me. And he advised me the way he could. I mean, he's a bit elderly. That man could be like my father. So he spoke to me. I finally opened up, told him what was going on. And he said, you know, there is a way that God has made things. The man is supposed to be the provider. But when you try to change the order, it always brings problems. So when you are with a man, it's true, it can go through hard times, but when it's becoming too much and you are always the one giving, then maybe, something is wrong somewhere. So you go and think very well about it. So he went to drop me. When he dropped me, when we came, we saw that Kweku was outside next to his car. So he said, I don't want to worsen your trouble, so let me drive up a bit so you can come back by yourself. I don't want him to think you have gone to meet somebody. Man, So he dropped me before then. But that day, other family members had come. So he met my aunt, and my aunt was telling him that, oh, you see how beautiful this girl is? Hurry up and come back and marry her. Oh, you know. He was very cool with my dad, you know, because in our house, my dad was the only one who could speak a bit of English. So whenever we went home, you know, they would be conversing. I mean, it was like buddy, that kind of thing, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
Uncovering the rest of the iceberg, I think we've had a lot. Now let's put this together. Then we come to the lessons learned before we run away from here. Meeting the rest of his family, a real eye opener. The lawyers and the police. Let's put this three together. Meeting the rest of his family, the lawyers and the police. Okay, I think the police even had.
So I said meeting his family was a real eye opener because it was when I met them that I understood why he was the type of person he is. Because he has a family that covers up for him, that supports him in his wrongdoings and protects him even up to now, in spite of everything he has done. Because, especially his mother. Yes.
Wow.
Because you knew your son.
You were so sure that was the real mother?
Oh, yes. That was his real mother.
Okay.
Yes. You knew your son is a married man. Right? You came to meet him at the police station. He was arrested for doing that nonsense to so many other women. And yet after that, you still went, supported your son to marry another woman. Whilst he was still married to the first one. I mean, so he was very emboldened to do what he's doing because he has the backing of the people. Aha, you see? And when we went, we had to have an out-of-court resolution meeting, right, where his family came. I came there with my lawyer back then. He also brought a lawyer. And their behavior, it was, you read, I talk about it in the book. It wasn't that of people who are sorry. No, they were puffed up, raising their shoulders. This guy had the guts to sit there and look at me and tell me that, well, the things you did for me was because I was your boyfriend. I don't think I have to pay you back. Meanwhile, you were always asking for loans. He said, oh, you gave it to me. I didn't know that I'm supposed to pay you back. So if you didn't know you're supposed to pay me back, why did you ask for loans? You see? And then you say, oh, some of the monies, I don't even remember collecting that money from you. So what are you talking about?
And these were not things you put on record? Because
I had them on record.
Yeah. Oh, you had them on record?
Yes. Because of the way things were going, at a point, I realized that if I don't have some sort of record, I will not be able to follow up. And because you told me these are monies you intend to pay back, I needed to have some form of record so that I can remember. And it was a lot. I couldn't have kept everything in my head. So at a point, I started writing everything down. That was how come I was able to have a list of almost everything. And he was shocked that that day I had the list of everything, every transaction. Yes. So we went there and at a point his dad even got angry because I would not agree with some of the ridiculous, payment terms that they were offering. The man got up angrily, said, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to kill myself? You're making my blood pressure go up and all of that. I am your elder. I am a king or whatever, a dignitary in my hometown. And I have humbled myself and came here to meet you. So as if they were doing us a favor.
Wow.
Yes.
So at that time, was your family also aware of what
my family was aware, but not my whole family, my mom. My mom was the only one I told. Because she and I are very close. And even her, I didn't tell her everything. Because I was so ashamed, you know, that I allowed someone to take advantage of me to that point. Because I'm like, but you are not a stupid girl. You are not dumb. Why did you let this happen to you? I was so ashamed. I could not tell my family. My brothers, everybody knew him. It was when I wrote this book that my big brother got to find out. He was like, is this the same man that we met? I said, yes. He said, and you never said anything to me. I said, I was ashamed. Ashamed of what? You are a victim. Ashamed of what? I said, I should have known better. I should have known better. And then the police, as I said, they made everything worse. Very, very worse. Odd calls at ungodly hours of the night. Claiming they are just... people. I will not say who in particular, because this is a matter involving police. But one person in particular, yes.
Among the police officers?
Really started harassing me.
Among the police officers, you mean?
Yes. He will be calling me at odd hours, texting me, claiming he's just checking up on me. He just wants to help me. You're checking up on me after 9 p.m. for what? And you're asking me questions like, so did you and Kweku ever have sex? And then if you didn't, did he at least try? Did he made? I'm like, what has it got to do with the case? And you claim you are helping to prep me in case we go to court. But I had the lawyer. You are not the lawyer. Yes. You know, all kinds of strange questions, calling the other victims to ask them about my whereabouts. So where am I staying? Do they know where I am? Because at a point I started avoiding him because I knew that no, this is turning into something else. This is not just regular interrogation. And then I was telling the other girls at first, they didn't want to believe me until I pushed him away and he started doing the same thing to another girl. So I was like, Abi, I told you. I told you didn't want to believe me. Now he's doing it to you.
You run away now.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, and the money, the subtle request for money, because they know that this is a money thing, you know, and indirectly they are expecting you to give them some part of it, of course. And they did it to the other girl. So when my payment, first part of my payment was coming, I knew that if I don't do something, these people are going to, like, it will be bad. It will be bad. I mean, it was a whole lot. It was a lot. Even dealing with some of the lawyers. Oh my God, you have to read the book for yourself. It's a lot. I can't talk about all of it, you know. You need to read.
Very well. This is not the end of it. In fact, we have some more to go. But then the best is for you to get this book and read for yourself. Now, let's go to lessons learned and open your eyes. Then after, I'll come back to the offline questions. What are the lessons learned so far for both men and women? What are the lessons learned so far?
One of the lessons I have learned is that you should never keep silent when you're going through abuse in your relationship. Because I wish I had spoken up earlier. I wish I had talked to someone sooner than I did. My eyes would have opened a lot sooner. Because whilst you are in it, you don't realize what is happening to you and how bad it is. But an outsider can very easily see that no, this thing that is happening to you is not normal. You are being taken advantage of. But because you are in love, you see the person with these rose-colored glasses. You don't really see it's when I kept saying, it's when I started sharing this story that I realized how bad it actually was. How much, can I say nonsense? Yes, I tolerated. I was like, this is bad. And I was putting up with all this. So always, you know, when you are starting to have so many doubts, you don't feel okay in your relationship, you feel as if you are being taken for granted or taken advantage of. Talk to someone, even if it's one person, somebody you trust, your friend, a parent, a relative,
someone
anybody, someone you trust to give you good.
Some people can mislead you even in such situations.
Talk to somebody, because one of the things that Kweku succeeded in making me do is to keep everything that was happening between us to myself. For the first 6 months, I could not talk to anybody. He will always be like, if your friends and family should get to know what is going on, they will not understand and they will judge me wrongly. And you know, I'm a man, my ego will be hurt and my pride and all of that and my respect. And so I thought, oh, I'm protecting my man. Let me not, publicize my relationship issues. I mean, everybody has issues in their relationship, you know. So that is how they keep the abuse going, your silence. So it's very important that you talk to someone. When your head starts being filled with so many doubts, you don't know with that what to think. You're always second guessing yourself. It's as if you are losing your mind because the person is always gaslighting you. You say it's A and he says no. What you are seeing there is not A, it's B. And you are always confused. Talk to somebody. Don't keep it to yourself. It will save you from a lot.
There was one question I wanted to ask earlier. Let me put it through. You talked about when you met him, he had a car.
Another woman bought the car.
So when you met him, was he having the car?
He had the car, yes.
But he was not working. So did you ask him how he got a car when he was not working?
Oh, he told me, okay, so this is how things went. When we first met, he told me he used to have this job where he was doing so well for himself. And then he lost his job and he lost everything he owned in the house fire. All right. So after that, he started doing freelance jobs, one-offs here and there, because he said he's an IT professional, right?
Okay.
And so you meet somebody, he tells you, oh, I'm still doing okay, but things are not like before. Then progressively, he starts changing the story to, oh, clients are not calling me back anymore. Things are becoming harder and harder. So me being the supportive partner that I am, I decided to stick around. If it were some other women, as soon as you start complaining about money struggles, they will leave.
Yeah.
But I am not like that. I think that just because you are the man and I am the woman doesn't mean I can't help you. So I already started dating you before you started sharing your money struggles. So should I leave? No, I decided to stay and support you. That was where I made a mistake, you see, because he was not genuine. He was not there for genuine support. He was just fabricating stories. So it's not like I met him and he told me, oh, I'm broke, I have nothing going on for me, and I started giving him money. No, that was not how it happened. That's what a lot of people think, but that's not what happened.
Oh, yeah. I get it now. I get it now. So as it stands now, if you had gotten pregnant for him rather, what would you have done? Or maybe it even happened or something?
I thank God that never happened. I thank God that I stuck to my Christian principles, and one of them was no sex.
Oh, really?
Yes. I know a lot of people will not believe this, but we never had sex.
Even though you guys were spending nights and days together?
We never even did other things. There are some couples, they will not be having sex, but they will be doing some other things. We never even did that. The only thing we ever did was kiss, and even that one, I initiated it. Because that was one condition I gave him for dating me, that if you want to be with me, there will be no sex until after marriage. And he agreed to that, even though at first he didn't want to agree, but he came back and agreed. He was abstaining with me, and he was having it with other people out there. And he used that thing to somehow impress me, because to me, I thought, oh, this is somebody that respects my boundaries, and when he's with me, he will not even make an attempt to touch you and all that. So I was like, oh, wow. That made me respect him even more. You understand? It was all an act.
Wow.
It was all an act.
8 months, he didn't even touch you. And he really respected that.
Yes.
I'm sure that was where your trust was bought.
Yeah.
Because
that and the fact that he was bold enough to meet my family and my pastor and all the important people in my life.
How would you describe his looks?
Everybody that knows me knows my taste. I like slim and tall men. So he's slender, very tall. Yeah, so when you see us, it's like... yeah.
The giant and the dwarf.
Yeah. Exactly.
Does he have the image of what you put at the back of the book?
Does he have an image?
The same image, like dreads like this, or?
He looks like that, but not exactly.
So
he changed a few things.
He has the dreads?
Something that looks like it. Yeah. Something that looks like it.
I see. Now, in the book, you also wrote last words. Share those last words even before then you can tell me. I know it is not everybody who will get the hard copy like this.
Yeah.
If you want to get a hard copy, you can get it. But if you also want to get a soft copy, Constance here will tell us how we can get the copies to it. But I would advise you read. It is really engaging. As a matter of fact, men are not into this kind of seemingly novels. But whilst I was reading, I was hooked to it.
Yeah.
I was really hooked. In fact, one day I read almost all the 3 chapters. I read it in a day. My people in the office, they saw me like my head was just soaked into it throughout. What are those last words you want to share with us with regards to?
Before I share those last words.
But first, I have not even asked you for the sake of our viewers. How did you meet him? Like your first encounter in meeting. How did they start?
He was a Facebook friend.
Oh, he was a Facebook friend?
Yes. He was a Facebook friend. And we started talking, and then we met in person. Yeah. So the fact that he even made the journey all the way to Togo to come and meet me, that was
he came to meet you first?
Yes. That was also another thing that made it seem like, oh, this guy is serious.
So he DM'd you or you did first?
I sent him a message first.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the message about?
It was almost as if we messaged each other at the same time.
What was
it
the
was
message
just
about?
a hello, how are you doing? And then we started chatting.
And you
just
did that
regular
first?
chat. Yes.
It means you admired him even before?
Yes, I checked out his page and all that. And then when we started talking, he confessed that yes, he also checked me out. And then we started talking back and forth. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now we know how you guys met. Now the last words I want to know, then you can tell us how we can get this book.
Yeah. Before I share the last word, I want to say something.
Say it.
Some people might think, oh, okay, it's not worth it to preserve yourself and not have sex until marriage, because I did it with this guy and it still became a horrible story. But let me tell you, it does not guarantee anything all right, but it is still a good thing. So if you can have that principle and stick to it, I will encourage you to do that, because as you asked me, what if I had gotten pregnant? Yes. Not even pregnancy. What if I had contracted some other sickness? Because the guy was, I mean, he was running everywhere. Around. Yes. So it still saves you some of the trouble, you know. So it's a good thing all the same. It's a good thing.
When you were telling this, I was asking, so midway, if you had gotten pregnant and in all this while.
Because I feel sorry for the woman he actually married and had kids with. It's terrible.
And he married another one too.
Yeah, just this April. Yeah.
Constant, what are the last words you want to share then? Let's talk about how we can acquire this book.
I would like to tell every victim of relationship abuse out there that you are not crazy. I've been there. I also used to think maybe I'm the one who is being paranoid, because he will always make me think I am being paranoid. You are not crazy. Your doubts, your questions, your concerns are valid. Listen to that intuition that tells you something is wrong. And you are not alone. Speak up. Don't die in your silence. Talk to somebody. You can do it. You can get out of there. It is not the end.
You can do it. It is possible that you can walk out of this. Now, I had to, at all costs, read this book before this conversation or this meeting. So I asked Constance to actually deliver mine to me. So point one, it is possible yours can be delivered to you. Now, for those who would want to get it online, Constance, take us through it. How can you get this book? This is a must read. I wish that everybody who is yet to even start any serious relationship, you need this book.
Yeah.
Because the red flags were all shown. They were all dotted throughout this book. The red flags were dotted. Maybe Constance was so much in love that she missed the red flags. But if you are lucky, after reading this book, you will spot them. And when you start spotting them, you have to take cover.
Run for your life.
She's advised, talk to someone. Constance, we are close. How do we get this book?
Yeah, so it's very easy. When you go to my profile, whether on Instagram or Facebook.
What's the name on the profile?
It's Constance Gakpo.
Constance Gakpo.
Yeah, whether my personal page or my writer page. And my writer page, the name is just the writer. Type the writer or Constance Gakpo. You will find me on both Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, so Constance is spelled Constante.
Yes.
There is an E. I'm sure the French accentuate E or whatever they call it.
Yeah, so when you go to my profiles, there's a link there. It's a single link. You click on it, you will see every platform where we have the book. We have it on 4 different platforms. Okay. Whether you want soft copy, hard copy, whether you are in Ghana, in another country, in the US, anywhere, there's a link that caters to everyone. You go there, just read the description for each one. Choose what fits you best and make your order. You'll receive your copy. Yeah.
How many months has this relationship been over so far?
This relationship ended in just before my birthday last year. Yeah.
Okay,
so May 2023.
May 2020, that was when it ended.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to write this book? After it ended in May? A
little less than a year.
Oh, so like May...
I didn't start writing immediately. It was a little while after.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see. So it took about a year to put this together. As I talk to you, are you completely healed?
I would be lying to say I am completely healed. I am still on that journey. It's not easy because what happened to me was very, very traumatizing. And this book is part of my healing because it's called Catharsis, Healing Through Writing, the Art of Writing. That is one reason why I wrote the book. But it is not, I'm not fully 100% there yet. I still need to do other things like going for therapy and all that, and I'm working on it. Yeah.
I see.
Yes.
Have you found another person? I know many men who be watching this will be interested in this question. But
oh yeah.
Have you found another person yet after, say, close to 2 years of the breakup?
I have received like 1,000 proposals by now, but no.
After telling your story?
Yes, yes. I mean,
they want to come and correct the situation, or they want to come and add up to it?
Those who want to add up to are there. I know. I know majority of them are just coming because they are hoping that, oh, maybe I can also take advantage. You know, I'm sure. Yes, I am very, very sure. Yeah, but no, I have not found anyone. I don't even think I'm in the right frame of mind yet to start dating another person. Yeah, I need some time. I need to start working on that healing to a certain extent before I can fully give myself to another person. I haven't found that man that is worth it for me to do this again yet. Yeah.
Do you want to meet a psychologist?
Yeah, I'm working on it. That's what I said. I'm working on starting therapy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I have friends who are psychologists and psychiatrists. They are helping me to get someone. So
you are so sure that if you don't go through that, it will be very hard for you to welcome another man into your life, I guess?
Not very hard, but it might affect that person. I want to be my best self. You know, because this thing affected me not just emotionally, but it manifests physically. When you read some parts of the book, you will see that I started having nocturnal panic attacks at a point.
What's that?
Yeah, I'll be sleeping, then I'll wake up and I'm screaming.
Oh, okay.
I'm screaming because I feel like I can't breathe, and I'm panting because my chest feels. I feel like, yeah, I will actually be screaming until I realize that, oh, I was sleeping.
What the ordinary person will call broken heart.
That's what they are calling broken heart, but in psychology they will tell you it's nocturnal panic attacks. So that thing has been happening to me a lot. Yeah, so those are all the things I need to deal with, you know. Yeah.
How about financial restoration? Are you restored financially fully now?
To a great extent, yes. Even though I have not recovered about 60% of everything I lost to this relationship. Is it even 60%? It will be more than 60, like 70%, because I lost over 100,000
cedis.
Yes, over 100,000 cedis. Wow. And so far I was paid 40,000, and that's it.
Oh, he paid you?
Yeah, he paid some 40. After we took him to the police station, yeah, his mom paid 40,000, and then he was supposed to pay the rest in installment, and just went for the vanishing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now you don't know his whereabouts?
No, I have no idea.
Is he still on Facebook, or he's blocked you, or you have blocked him?
He blocked me on Facebook, and then I blocked him everywhere else.
Oh, okay. So whether he's on Facebook still,
he'll be there.
Escapade, we don't know.
He will be there because he likes to give people relationship and life advice.
Ah, whoa.
Yes, he calls himself a philanthropist, a mind transformationist, and all those things. So a lot of you are there following him. Be careful who you listen to.
How do we know it is not even Sammy Flex? Who is that? How do you know online? How do you know?
Unless your name is Kweku, then you are not the one.
Me, I'm Kweku.
Hey!
Yeah.
Yo, hey! Hey, God.
Oh, yeah,
okay, so is your Kweku with an A or E?
It's an A, though.
It's an A?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's
Mine is Kweku. Yeah.
No comments.
Kwekuban. That is my local name. Kwekuban.
I see. There are a lot of Kwekus who are protesting. Actually, they are like, no, Kweku people are not like that. This guy is not part of us.
To be frank, we are not like that. Just a handful.
But some of you guys are defending him, boys. To be like, no, you have to defend our brother's honor.
No, that is just for the gram. Those who are defending, they are just doing it for the gram. But I know within them, they will know something was wrong.
I hope so.
You see, I believe in something. That's why I said I would not know whether I'm also guilty or not. I believe in telling the truth because I'm sure maybe even if I have told you the truth, it was still your decision to okay, I'll still be with you or not.
Yes.
After all, it is not a crime to date someone you know is in this situation.
Yes.
If that is what you think.
If the person is honest with you.
Exactly. So if he had even told you, oh, this is my situation. I'm married, I'm this, and think, okay, we can have something.
Yeah.
It is your decision.
After all, there are girls who are dating married men.
Exactly what I'm talking about. My problem is the lie, like the constant lies.
Yeah. Unprovoked.
Yeah.
Lying for
the
no
constant
reason.
lies. And you proved so good to him that even at the point, if he was smart, he could have turned it. That, hey, the way you've been good to me, I can't tell you lie anymore. Like this, I'm sure like that, like then it's very difficult for you to go back to your decision. Like you find it difficult because we're
only
deeply
someone
in it.
who has a conscience and is capable of feeling shame and remorse.
Yes.
Can have that kind of rethink.
Yeah.
Kweku is not like that. No. Because if you are capable of remorse and repentance, you wouldn't continue and even do worse after what happened. Because can you imagine that after our episode, I heard he was arrested again for the same thing. Wow. And then he went ahead to marry the second one. So this is not somebody that is ready to change or feel sorry. No, he's not sorry for what he did.
Like this is what he wants.
He's not. He made a career out of it. That is his job. Romance scammer.
Oh my world. I'm not sure you'd want to exchange any contact because you don't want more stress.
It's okay.
I know.
The social media one is okay.
The reason I'm saying is at this stage, your story is worth a summit. It's worth a conference, like coming to talk to like that kind of thing. Some people would want to call it, oh, we are having this relationship summit or something. We want someone to talk to.
I've had a few requests like that, and they are in the works. I mean, it will happen. Yeah,
it is something you don't want to do.
Yes, actually, when I came, I did one podcast already on Saturday. You are my second interview, and then I have something else tomorrow and maybe on Wednesday. And after that, there is more coming.
There are more coming. Okay, guys, this is mine. I'm not done. I've gotten to part 3. I still have some more to go. I don't want you to miss this.
And those who like borrowing, we are not borrowing. Buy your own.
No.
Buy yours.
No. If you want to borrow, then
because I'm going to sign it for him before I go.
Yeah. You have to. We can't borrow. Oh, well, how much is this selling though?
150 cedis.
150 cedis. That is so cool. And beyond everything, it's entertaining. Like, especially if you have been there before. I've dated several times. So once I was reading, I was also feeling the entertainment value. Like, okay, I have been here before. Okay, here I have been there before. Like that kind of thing. It's an experience that you'd want to have, something you'd want to keep as well. Even for someone who is going through something, because go and read this book and learn from Constant's story. Trust me, it will be another healing process for that person. So don't miss out. Constant, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you. She actually drove all the way from Togo here. Her car with the Togo number plate is still in our office here, and I'm impressed. And I kept her waiting for far too long as well. And after talking to her, I'm happy that I have this story with me. If not for anything, the fact that this story is going to be on my Sammy Flex TV channel alone will go a long way to even share links with other people. Learn from this lady. And this also means a lot to me. So, Kosina, thank you. We have to do this again.
Yes.
I want to finish reading the book.
Yeah.
When I finish reading the book and you're in a crowd nest, let me know so that the rest of the questions that are hidden in there, I will still come back to.
Sure.
I know at this stage you also want to know who Kwaku is. Call me in chambers. I'll tell you who he is. This has been the Real Talk on Sammy Flex TV. I did this with my production team, Theophilus Digosh, as well as Buju Lens. If you are even struggling to get a book, call me directly. Our numbers are always available on the screen. You call me. I'll make sure you get a book wherever you are to read. Is
it possible to put the link in the description box?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. We're also going to put the link of the book, how to get the order, in our description on our YouTube channel and our Facebook. We'll be streaming this live on our Facebook one cool Sunday evening, so that everybody will do a fly on that, so people will watch it. Maybe coming Sunday, we can do this, yes, coming Sunday. Okay. You guys should not miss it. My name is Sammy Flex. I sure will see you when I see you again. But Constant is not searching, so don't call me about it. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.